Hey there, podcast fans. Welcome back to Stories from the River and Happy New Year. I hope that you had a wonderful and safe New Year celebration. It's a bright new year, 2025, and now maybe we got some new resolutions, new goals, new things to look forward to. Before we do, let's take a little bit of a look back into the year that was.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
2024 was our year to connect, and we're wrapping up here the third season of the podcast. I remember 3 years ago trying to get organized and ready and working on starting a podcast for Stories from the River. And, shout out to the team through the Noise, and Marina and Allison and Ernesto and their team. They do a wonderful job for us. And there's a lot of folks who kind of go in and work on this podcast for us. And we've had a lot of growth and success. We started off producing one episode per week, and then we shifted I'm not really sure why, but we had a lot of great content, some good feedback. We shifted to twice a week, and now we're producing every Tuesday and Thursday. So I guess we're getting ready to launch season 4 of the podcast. But we just finished our 2024, our year to connect. And we had all the reasons for why connect was the right word for us last year. And as I look back and reflect, we connected in such a really great way with our people. You know, we had the Purpose Summit with 105 memory makers attending together. It was a 3-day immersive and transformative leadership experience in the Queen City. And so that was a wonderful, wonderful event. We even did a podcast series following the Purpose Summit. I think we did 12 episodes with some of the speakers, and we recorded those during the Purpose Summit after or before they had gone on stage to present or speak. So we had a 12 episode series from that. But, going back just to the beginning of the year, I'll do a quick little walk back. We had our annual awards gala. We were celebrating Frank Gastelum and his $2 million year last year. He got the new car. That was at the Panthers Den, the Panthers Bank of America Stadium. And, then we did a series at Stories from the River with our GM of the year, our memory maker of the year, our regional manager of the year, or multi-unit leader of the year. And so that was a wonderful, wonderful, just kind of way to kind of put a bow on the year. Then we kind of launched our Word of the Year Connect, and we did our series to just kind of launch that. We had our several events that we celebrated last year, and in operations we had an amazing year with a new decoy winner, DC of the year winner, and operations last year. They connected in so many ways. You've got to follow Tim Klaus on LinkedIn if you're not already, but they are breaking records and setting just new elevated KPIs each and every week, seemingly. And then in our contact center, shout out to Wes Dudley, Anita Harris, Samantha Bloom, and that entire team. They got ranked the number 2 call center for large call center in the country this past season. So they're gunning for number 1. They're not satisfied with just getting second place, but that's just a remarkable acknowledgement. And our KPIs in our CX department continue to just rise and elevate and help us do what we do at retail. And then we do events like the Memory Maker Appreciation Week. We say, look, there's Employee Appreciation Day, but we say, why just one day? Let's do it for a whole week. And so, Heather Greenwood, who leads our MMX team, they just really create all these wonderful events for every day of the week. So we had that back in March. I think we did it twice this past year, once in March, once in October, because 1 week's not enough to celebrate our people. We had our new Broad River shop. We got engaged with our engagement survey. We got connected, got a lot of great feedback, a lot of rollouts throughout the year, and that we announced here at one of our recent town halls. We went to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Spring Foundation luncheon together. We did visits like to the Temper Sealy plant. We went to various other plants, and we, under the mantra of go and see. Trying to think of some other events that we did. the Sleep Connection events. We had two at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, or I think one at the Embassy Suites and then one at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And one was in May, one was in October. But we really connected where we brought our experts, Jamar and Holly, to speak and to share out. And then we captured a series from that to hear how people were experiencing, coming together, learning together, growing together. So that was really, really cool. And then, we did a series here on this podcast on our Founder Scholarship Award winners. We've done this Founder Scholarship Fund several years and given out more and more scholarship money each and every year and more winners. So we get to celebrate our memory makers or our children of our memory makers through that wonderful a fund that we've established. Whether we're going to Advance, North Carolina to visit the Ashley manufacturing plant or going to Utah to visit Purple and their plant, we're always going to go see our partners, but we also go to other conferences and events throughout the year and try to connect together. We've had different events like Operation 'Tis the Season that we just completed this holiday season, or Operation Magic School Bus, going for our back to school session. Gosh, who can forget our Home Furnishings Expert Soirée? I think we had our third annual Expert Soirée, and we sell out, we buy out State 48. We have 175 memory makers and partners gathering together and just celebrating and having a lot of fun, and a super memorable event. We connected in person by bringing speakers back on campus. We had Ron Carucci, who we saw at the Purpose Summit, and he wrote, best-selling author of To Be Honest and many other books. And we brought him to the river to come speak to us in person. I think that was in September. And then we did a series following his talk. So that's another way to connect together. And then I'm really proud of how we connected by staying connected to our people, our memory makers in our towns and our communities that were really devastated and hard hit during Hurricane Helene. We didn't give up. We didn't leave them abandoned. We really took supplies and donations we had like 13, I think, stores or locations that were impacted, especially in Asheville. We were really hard hurt in Asheville, and whether finding new locations for our people to attend, or trying to get the stores back open, or just get them supplies, staying connected with them, or creating assistance funds and things of that nature to really help our people stay connected, stay grounded, stay plugged in with us, and just visiting those areas. Manny and I just saw just the love and the appreciation of our people in person, and that was a true joy to see and experience and witness our people coming together, and our partners and our friends coming together to say, hey, how can we help? Can we ship you guys mattresses or supplies? And so we had a lot of that in the fourth quarter. And then just to really see, we just celebrated. I'm recording this on December 31st, and we just closed out our fiscal year yesterday on Monday, December 30th. We minted $93 million memory makers in 2024. Jamar Ray led the way. He used to go by J Ray 300K. He's got a new moniker now, which is J Ray 360K, because of his record-setting November. That's right, $360,000 in the month of Moneyball November. And so we'll be celebrating Jamar with a brand new car and big jackpot bonuses. Shout out to Brian Johnson, who got well over 500 VIP applications for the year and really paved the way there. And we had some outstanding record-setting just performances this past year. And I get a chance to speak with many of our folks who crossed the line, and just to hear their perspective and what they put into the year and the goals that they have for themselves and what they've achieved, and where they can also say they're always so appreciative and positive, but also they're like, I know what I need to do next year to maybe just fine tune my game a little bit. And it's really encouraging and inspiring and rejuvenating just to speak and connect with them. So staying connected with our people and celebrating, awards and things of that nature, whether it's Hallow Week or the Sleep Connection that I mentioned earlier, or safety and wellness days, always celebrating safety and wellness and making sure that, taking care of each other and ourselves is super, super important. We did a lot of that. Customer Service Week is always a great, inspiring week throughout the year that we look forward to. Thanksgiving lunches and holiday lunches and meals together. It's a great time to just connect and come together. The grand opening of our common space that we celebrated at the mill is another gathering space for us to kind of decompress, rejuvenate, relax, and gather together and fellowship together. And so we got a lot of exciting things. And then we concluded, we love our quarterly town halls. We had our Holly Jolly town hall. The speakers were all converted to elves, which was a lot of fun. We really connected with our grand openings, with our store remodels and renovations. We did some episodes from, with our visual team from Rock Hill and then from the Rock Hill grand opening. But, we opened up 2 new stores in 2024, one in Aiken, South Carolina, and one in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And then also we did a grand reopening in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So we did several remodels and renovations. And, whether we're just fine tuning a sleep gallery or overhauling, a 13-year-old store and bringing it to the Ashley 7.0 standard and putting in, 7 figures of investment into that store and really celebrating that. We're going to continue to invest in our current stores. That's one of our, strategic pillars that we have, as we look at growth. We always got to focus on our current stores. And so we've got, right now, we're getting down the final stretch run of our Raleigh Glenwood store, the Raleigh Rain. And we'll be celebrating a grand reopening in 2025 for the Raleigh Rain in February. And we've got 3 or 4 other grand reopening celebrations planned for 2025. So continuing to reinvest in both new stores and bringing, older stores back to being new again, That's, at retail, the only constant is change. And so really proud of how the team has just become elite at really collaborating, connecting together on a plan to take a store that we've had for many years and breathe new life into it and just make it look outstanding. And then, to have the grand opening celebrations that we've had, to have also those weekends where you have 175 people waiting in line. We've had for Aiken's grand opening, for Fayetteville's grand reopening, and for Rock Hill's grand opening, we had the waiting list of folks waiting to get in for our Take a Chance wall on Saturday morning, waiting to get in line to the store. And who's doing that at retail right now? So that's a really, really cool that we've introduced this past year. And we'll have more of that in 2025. So proud of our marketing team, our visual team, our merchandising team, our store construction teams, and just the way that they have showed up in 2024. And I know they're going to continue to show up big in 2025. We got big plans as we march forward in the new year. So that shout out to store openings and store grand reopenings. So we will now move forward into 2025. We'll put a bow on 2024 at our annual awards gala. We're actually going to host it at a brand new location this year at the Casey in Uptown Charlotte. So it'll be at the Casey. We'll bring in, I think it's around 250 memory makers to celebrate, premier events. We'll celebrate our memory make. We will announce our memory maker of the year. We'll give away a lot of jackpot bonus, the big check presentations. We will celebrate, the executive of the year, the GM of the year, REM of the year, multi-unit leader of the year, and many, many other, premier elevated performances. And then, as we kind of get ready to roll out a new year, we'll announce our new 2025 Word of the Year at our annual kickoff town hall, which we do at the end of January. And so we'll have that. We'll have brand new goals, brand new budget, brand new exciting announcements to bring you in 2025. We're already kind of trying to innovate and come up with new ideas for the podcast, how we can continue to grow the podcast, bring you really interesting stories. This next series is going to be, as we start off the new year, we're going to bring you Retail 101. We're going to go back to the basics and start from the ground floor. And, what we have found is a lot of people who are considering joining the river and coming to kind of do this thing with us together, they listen to the podcast or they watch the episodes. And so we said, well, let's show them what Retail 101 is all about. Give a backstage pass to Retail 101. And so we'll talk to Bree Dolphin and we'll talk to some of those who are going through Retail 101 or just completed it. And so you'll get to hear from those on our next series. And then we'll do a little bit on our Purpose to Impact program that we did with Nick Craig. So that'll be a new series that we'll have rolling out afterwards. And then, who knows? We're going to bring you fresh new content. We've been tinkering with recording these remotely and also taking the studio remotely, whether it's virtually like I am right now from my home office, or whether it's going on location. And so we plan to record several episodes from the Gala, which and the Gala will be live streamed this year. And that's just one idea of how we can kind of go get connected more in person and take the podcast on location. So we're excited to do that, to come up with brand new stories. As you saw during our Retailer of the Year series, this was such a great honor that we received, and all of our memory makers should be really, really proud of it. And we don't want to stop there. What it really does is it inspires us to keep going. Hey, we've got a platform now to inspire others. We want to be mindful of our organizational wake. And so what that means is we want to be long-term minded and legacy minded. We want to make sure that we can leave it better than we found it. And so it's about stewardship. And we want to create a platform here that can live beyond us, where people can thrive and where others can we get inspired by so many others, and we have gotten inspired by so many others, and we learn from others. But also now we feel a responsibility to give that learning and that knowledge back so that others can learn from us. And so that's a way that we can kind of use Broad River Retail as a platform to continue to help inspire, elevate, and show and be mindful of our organizational wake. It's how we can rise to the occasion and meet the moment, and how we can all thrive together. And that's really what's important to us, to be a purpose-driven business as a force for good. We want to be about positivity, about optimism, and about inspiring folks to furnish life's best memories. We want to furnish life's best memories at Broad River Retail, and that's not just for us here. We want to do that for our memory makers, for the children of our memory makers, for our partners, which you may not hear too many companies say that, for our friends, for our neighbors, and for our communities. We want to be community minded, and we're thinking about the whole ecosystem. And so it's all about creating a positive ripple effect and being mindful of that organizational wake. And then, because we stand on the shoulders of giants, we want to just kind of send the elevator back down and help others kind of come up, because others have helped us, have paved the way for us. We are very, very mindful that we are sitting in the shade of trees that we didn't plant. And so we're planting seeds now for others who will maybe enjoy that shade in the future, and then they'll do that for others. And so as we think about others and we think about a new year, we take a win the day mindset, and we just get to maybe kind of connect with each other, go outside, think about new adventures and new challenges that will inspire us to continue climbing the mountain and growing and learning and continuing on the journey. Life can be an adventure if you let it. And so we want to let this life be an adventure. We want to continue to live within our harvest and have a lot of fun while we're doing it, and make it memorable. With that, Happy New Year. Here's to an amazing 2025 as we put a bow on 2024. Thanks so much for just giving us feedback, giving us your attention twice a week, and for dialing in here on Stories from the River. We try to bring you fresh, new content every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcasts or watch them on YouTube. So whether you're on Apple or Spotify or YouTube or any other platform, thanks so much for subscribing, following, and checking us out. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.